The story starts in a land called Elgazia, where people used to ride dragons and rule. For many years, the people there lived happy lives. But then the kings of this land began fighting each other for power. One day, a dragon rider named Galbatorix discovered all the king's weaknesses and during a bloody war, killed them all. After wiping them out, Galbatorix became the sole ruler of Elgazia for a long time. The scariest part was that he turned into a tyrant. He feared no one and did whatever he pleased. So a group called the Wardens, who were fighting for the freedom of the people, started trying to remove him from power. One night, a warden warrior named Arya stole a very special stone from Galbatorix. Furious because of the theft, Galbatorix sent his magician Durza to get the stone back. After a while, Durza and his men ambushed Arya. They quickly killed the two warden warriors with her, and as soon as they got the chance, they knocked Arya off her horse. Arya tried really hard to escape, but Durza used his magical powers to trap her and demanded she return the stone. Arya flat out refused and used her own magic to send the stone far away. Durza tried to find out where she had sent it, but Arya told him nothing. Instead, she laughed at his defeat. Just then, a young boy named Aragon was trying to hunt a deer in the forest when suddenly the stone appeared right in front of him. Looking at the shiny stone, Aragon thought he should keep it with him. He went to the butcher to trade the stone for some meat. The butcher was shocked when he saw it, realizing that such a glowing stone probably belonged to the king. He got really scared and told Aragon to put the stone back exactly where he found it and not mention to anyone, or else the whole village would be in danger. He then quickly told Aragon to leave his shop right away because he did not want to get into any trouble. As Aragon was coming out of the shop, he saw the king's soldiers bothering a man named Brom. They said he had stolen chickens from the king's forest and tried to take them from him. Brom thought about fighting back for a moment, but then changed his mind and decided it was better to just hand over the chickens. When Aragon got back to his room, he saw that the stone was moving and a tiny dragon was coming out of it. He now realized it was not just a stone, but an egg, a dragon's egg. The moment Aragon lovingly touched the little dragon, far away both Brom and Galbatorix sensed that a dragon had been born. Durza used his magic to read Arya's mind and found out that the dragon was with Aragon. When Galbatorix learned this, he told Durza to find the boy and eliminate him quickly before the warden group opposing them could get wind of it. The next morning, when Aragon woke up, the tiny dragon was sleeping right beside him, and there was a strange mark on his palm. As the days passed, Aragon and the dragon kept getting closer. One day, Aragon realized that neither of them had anyone else besides each other, as both of their mothers had abandoned them. The next day, he started teaching his dragon how to fly. The dragon quickly learned, and soon was soaring above the clouds. As it flew, it grew very big, and when it landed back down at its huge size, poor Aragon got scared. Then the dragon spoke. It said its name was Saphira, and told Aragon that he was her chosen rider, meaning only he could ride her. It turned out that Saphira could hear Aragon's thoughts without him saying a single word. Now, wanting to learn more about dragons, Aragon sneaked into Brom's house at night. He found a book that contained the history of dragons. Just as he was reading it, Brom showed up and scared him, telling him to get out quickly. Aragon did not listen and started asking Brom questions about dragons. Brom got nervous and asked if anyone was following him, then hurried Aragon to leave and warned him that trouble was coming his way soon. Aragon called him a liar and a coward, accusing him of not being a real dragon rider and saying he must have spread that rumor just to get people's attention. The moment Aragon left, Brom looked at his hidden red sword, which was proof that he truly was a dragon rider. On the way home, Aragon overheard that the butcher had given Durza's men Aragon's name and the location of his uncle's farm. Aragon realized his uncle's life was in danger and ran off to save him, but Saphira flew away with him to keep him safe. She told him it was already too late and that his uncle could not be saved. Aragon pleaded with her to put him down, saying maybe he could still save his uncle. Saphira refused at first, but when Aragon insisted, she agreed and dropped him onto a pile of hay. When he went inside, he found that his uncle had already died. Filled with grief and anger, he went to Saphira and said that it was all her fault, that she had been flying away with him, and otherwise he could have saved his uncle. He angrily told her to go away. Brom arrived shortly after, having come to save Aragon, but Aragon angrily told him to leave too. A small argument started between them, during which Brom grabbed Aragon's hand and saw the mark on it, after which he understood it was a rider's mark. Brom asked where his dragon had gone, and Aragon replied that he had sent her away. Aragon was thinking of properly burying his uncle's body, but Brom quickly set fire to the hut and forcibly put Aragon on a horse, taking him away immediately before his uncle's killers could reach him again. With a heavy heart, Aragon watched his burning home and then set off with Brom toward a distant forest. There, Brom told him that he was one of the few surviving dragon riders still alive. He explained to Aragon that he had now become the last hope of the Wardens. If they wanted to defeat Galbatorix, they needed at least one dragon, and that dragon would be Aragon's. Brom asked Aragon to call Saphira. Aragon called for her in his mind, and she came right away. At first, Saphira was suspicious of Brom, but when Brom tested her and praised her, Saphira trusted him. Aragon still did not want to ride Saphira, and still believed that their mistake had caused his uncle's death. Brom explained to him that Saphira had chosen him out of the entire world, and if a dragon's chosen rider dies, the dragon dies too. That was why Galbatorix wanted to kill Aragon. Brom guessed that Durza would now send the Urgles to finish Aragon as quickly as possible, which was why he was taking him to the Warden group's secret hideout where he could be properly protected. After sending Saphira away, Brom and Aragon moved forward on their path. At one point, Aragon saw the Urgles robbing people. He wanted Brom to help them, but Brom refused, saying Aragon was not ready for that yet. Aragon insisted that he was really good at fighting, so Brom decided to test him by having him fight with a wooden stick. Aragon lost very easily, after which Brom told him he was not ready at all. After resting a while, Brom lit a fire using magic. Aragon asked how he did it, but Brom refused to share the magical words and said it was time to sleep. The next day, the two continued their journey and reached a village. Brom told Aragon to stay put and not talk to anyone. The moment Brom left, Aragon disobeyed and went to see a fortune teller named Angela to ask about his future. Angela told him that great power was hidden within him and that he was about to fight a huge war soon. She also mentioned a girl who would become an inseparable part of his life in the near future. Aragon was just stepping out of the tent when Durza's Urgles attacked him. Luckily, Brom showed up just in time and saved him, then scolded him for not listening. More Urgles kept coming, and Brom fought them off, but they were getting overwhelmed. Just as they were about to die, Aragon shot an arrow and saved Brom. After that, Aragon unintentionally shot a magical arrow that completely destroyed the entire bridge, causing all the Urgles to fall into the water. But using such powerful magic drained Aragon's energy completely, and he collapsed unconscious on the spot. Saphira soon arrived to save him. The next morning, Aragon woke up in a quiet place with Brom beside him. Brom explained that during the night, Saphira had sensed Aragon's fear and shared a bit of her own magic with him, and it was with that power that Aragon had created the magical arrow. Brom then began teaching him all the spells and magic rituals, and also taught him how to see through Saphira's eyes. After that, the two of them quickly headed toward the Warden's secret hideout. For the first time, Aragon rode on Saphira's back and looked at the scenery from above, while Brom rode his horse below. Suddenly, through Saphira's eyes, Aragon saw two deadly beasts sent by Durza standing ready to attack Brom. Aragon came to save him, but Arazak knocked him to the ground. Poor Saphira crashed into trees and got hurt, and just as the Arazak was about to kill her, Aragon used a spell he had learned from Brom and took it down. As Aragon headed toward the wounded Saphira, another Arazak tried to stop him, but Brom struck that Arazak's heart with his red sword and finished it off. Brom treated Saphira's wounds and scolded Aragon, saying he should always think about protecting his dragon first in a fight. Aragon grabbed Brom's hand and, seeing the dragon rider's mark on it, realized Brom used to be a dragon rider too. Brom explained that his dragon had been killed by a treacherous rider named Morzin, and that he later found Morzin and killed him too, keeping his red sword. Durza brought Arya to Aragon in his dreams to trap him, where Arya was asking Aragon for help to save her from Durza's captivity. The moment Aragon woke up, he decided to rescue her. Brom tried to stop him, warning that the danger was huge, but Aragon would not listen. He immediately mounted Saphira and flew off. Even Saphira tried to stop him, but Aragon ordered her to do exactly as he said. Aragon soon reached the place where Arya was being held captive. Quietly sneaking inside, he found her. But little did he know he was walking right into the trap Durza had carefully laid. Just as he got close to Arya, Durza came from behind and attacked him with his magical spear. But Brom stepped in just in time and saved Aragon's life, though he himself was seriously injured in the process. Seeing Brom hurt, Aragon furiously shot an arrow at Durza. The arrow hit Durza right on the head, but it had no effect at all. Durza disappeared from there. However, through all of this, his spell over Arya was broken. Arya and Aragon began taking the injured Brom away, but many soldiers had surrounded them, and it seemed like there was no way to escape. Just then, Saphira broke through the roof and arrived. A stranger named Murta was standing there with his bow drawn. For a moment, it looked like he was aiming at Aragon, but he was actually trying to kill the soldier attacking from behind. With Saphira's help, they all managed to escape. After running away, Aragon saw that Brom was on the verge of death. Brom gave him his red sword and explained that to kill a demon like Durza, his heart would have to be pierced. Aragon tried to heal Brom, but was of no use. Saphira put Brom on her back and took him for one last flight through the air, since he was a dragon rider, and that is where Brom breathed his last. Before moving forward, Arya suddenly fell ill and collapsed because Durza had poisoned her with his magic. Just then, Saphira caught Murtagh, who had been following them. Murtagh told Aragon the story of how Galbatorix had wiped out his entire family, and that he now wanted to team up with Aragon and fight back. Aragon agreed, and Murtagh took them the fastest way to the Warden's secret location. After a while, they reached a waterfall, where an Urgle suddenly attacked Aragon, but Murtagh showed up just in time and took it down. They crossed through the waterfall and met the Warden warriors, but no one knew that the Urgles had followed them all the way there. Meanwhile, Galbatorix was scolding Durza for failing to catch Aragon, but then Durza found out that the Urgles, by following Aragon, had discovered the Warden's secret hideout. Galbatorix immediately told Durza to take the army and kill everyone. On the other side, Aragon and Murtagh met Ajahad, the leader of the Wardens. Ajahad asked Aragon to call his dragon, and the moment Aragon called Saphira, everyone was stunned to see her. Aragon also asked them to treat Arya, since she was still suffering from Durza's poison. Meanwhile, the Urgles quietly killed the guards standing outside and began making their way inside. Ajahad received word that the Urgles would attack very soon and guessed that the king's army would be with them too. He asked Aragon if he would join them in the fight, and Aragon agreed. But then Ajahad recognized Murtagh and ordered everyone to capture him at once, because he was the son of Morzin who had betrayed all the Wardens. Murtagh defended himself, saying he was not like his father and hated him just as much as they all did, but even so Ajahad had him taken prisoner. Durza had now arrived with the king's entire army. He boosted their morale and got them ready for battle. Meanwhile, all the Wardens were fully prepared to fight. Ajahad had Aragon put on armor for his protection. Arya, who had fully recovered, came to Aragon and told him that God had chosen him for this task, for otherwise why would the dragon born after so many years have chosen him of all people? Soon the Urgles broke down the door and rushed inside. Aragon was standing on a rock above, watching everything. He immediately mounted Saphira and told her to breathe fire, and in an instant the tide of the battle turned in their favor as countless Urgles were burned to death. Meanwhile, Murtagh in captivity was screaming for someone to let him out. Just then a burning Urgle broke through the door to kill him, but Murtagh easily killed it and joined the battle. Then the king's army arrived with Durza and joined forces with the Urgles. But Aragon told Saphira to breathe fire again, killing many soldiers. Suddenly, Murtagh was surrounded on all sides by the king's soldiers who were about to kill him, but Aragon stepped in and saved him. Now Aragon came face to face with Durza, who had used dark magic to create a dragon for himself and was riding it. At first Durza had the upper hand, and his dragon bit down hard on Saphira's throat. But Aragon attacked that dragon with his red sword and told Saphira to breathe fire. Then the injured Saphira flung Aragon far away with her tail, and he quickly recovered and drove the red sword straight through Durza's heart. The blow was so devastating that Durza died on the spot. After that, Aragon was about to fall, but Saphira caught him in midair and saved him. However, her wounds were so deep that she could no longer fly properly. Both of them came down to the ground, and while Aragon's life was saved, poor Saphira was on the brink of death. Aragon gave it his all, using his magical powers to try and save her, but after a while he lost consciousness. When he woke up, he asked about Saphira, and Murtagh told him she was gone. Hearing this, Aragon thought Saphira had died and was overcome with grief. But then Murtagh laughed and called out to Saphira, and she came and stood right in front of them, completely safe and sound.